we are looking at our pair as usual, GBPJPY, and I wanted to first do some quick one on it. If you to look at the previous years, our pair has been really on an uptrend right from 2020 up to 2024 last year. So this is a new year we are having still. Let's see what we can get from this pair. So coming down, remember on the monthly, I normally just want to look at the trend, basically that. And then when you scale down right here, we could just start marking out the key areas. So I'll just mark the highest and lowest points of this market on our daily. And then on our H4, that is 4 hour, we could start to look out for what the market is trying to tell us. So previously we had a head and shoulder, and this is it. This is how it went. It really respected us. This is the shoulder, the right and left shoulder, and then the head. So as you remember, we took this trade from right here up to our take profit, which was around here, and it hit, of course, and even exceeded our take profit. So I want to just mark that area as well. And one thing you should realize as well, when you scale down to the lower time frame, so in this case, which is H4, you want to really look at the trend that is going on. So the monthly is on an uptrend, and as you can see, even the lower time frames, we are having an uptrend. So there are scenarios where you can have an uptrend on the bigger time frames, and then when you come to the smaller ones, it's trending downward. So even currently, as you can see, our market is actually trending sort of down. We're having this downward trend, and then we are going to find out why and how do we go about it. So this trend line has been respected quite a number of times. So we are having this first touch, the second touch, and then the third touch, which led to a breakout, some retracement, and then we had a nice like head continuation to the downside. So what are we going to do? If you're to mark this area, okay, if you're to zoom out like closely, you realize that this area is a key area. Price has been pushing up to this area but hasn't been able to go past it. So if I'm to use let me just use a rectangle for better analysis so that everyone can look at it. So this is what I'm talking about, this particular area. You realize that price hasn't been able to go past it. Whenever it reaches that area, it bounces back down. This is the area that I've marked with green, and it is an area that price has really respected a lot, even in the past years, okay? Yeah, even in the past months, I mean, yes. Whenever price reaches there, it reacts off, and currently price is at that level. So if you're to see our currently, we are having price forming higher highs and higher lows, okay? So this is what I actually mean. Price started off from here, the lowest point, came up, came down, forming a higher high, a higher low, then a higher high, higher low, a higher high, higher low, a higher high, a higher low, and then when it came back here, price formed an equal high, okay? Like this is an equal, a failed high, I would say as well, and it just went back down. It couldn't go past this previous high, it just sort of went down. And when it went down, it broke out from our trend line, okay? This is it. It broke out from this trend line which I had marked, and after breaking out, sort of retraced a bit and continued downward. So one thing you should know, whenever price goes up and retraces, it forms a support. So this is a support I would mark, and then again when it came up again from this support, it formed this retracement and formed again another one. So I would like to mark this area as another support zone. So whenever price either on an uptrend or downtrend, whenever price sort of takes a breather, it forms what we call a support. So it comes up, forms a support, comes up, retraces to form a support, comes up, retraces to form a support. Same thing. So even here it came down, went up, went back down. So this still is a support. So this would call it a resistance because it's to the upside, and then so after retracing back here, it came back down right here, and this is what I'm calling our current support zone, okay? This right here. So price was going up and then sort of went back, came down, went up, and then came back down here. So what are we having to do? If you are to zoom in closely, so I'll just delete these other ones. I just marked them for explanation, but we don't want a messy chart, so let's just have that. So this is what you should realize. When price reached this area, this major area, it formed some kind of I would call a name structure, which also translates to a double top kind of this right here up and then back down. This forms sort of a name structure. But when it reached this particular current support, you realize that it is forming a double bottom. Okay, a double bottom. After forming the double top, it formed a double bottom right here. So this market has I would call a 1-to-1 buy and risk sort of probability. It is 1-to-1. Could either buy or sell. But one thing that you should always find out in such a case scenario is you look at the odds. You look at the high, which one has a high probability, which one has a high probability of buy or a sell. You look at both sides and you could find out. So why do I call this a double bottom? It is because you're having a red candle, in this case which I've marked black, and then you're having a green candle which is like a buy candle, which is I've marked as green. And then we are having at the same point we are having black and red on this particular side. So price came from this support here, went up, played around this point and came back again to the same zone. And we're having two. For it to be considered a double bottom, it has to be a red and green candle, and then on the other side as well, a red and a green candle that are formed at the same line, like at the same support zone. So in most cases, from first principles, it says once you see a double bottom, it will normally buy, okay? It will normally buy, whereas when you see a double top, it will sell, it will be heading down for sales. And since we are having a breakout of structure, like sort of a breakout from this trend line, personally, I am considering sales, more of the sales, though I still anticipate short-term buys, okay? I am still anticipating short-term buys on this particular trade. So when you go to H1, let's go down. So one thing I am looking at is that market is most likely to buy for now, but it will be sort of a counter trend because I see like this market has actually changed its trend. It's now on a downtrend as what I could see. So most likely market could buy. So it could buy up to here, okay, or it could head up to here and then even up to here, like the middle of this order block. And then from there, we could be seeing some long-term sales coming in at the end of the day. Okay, this is it. We could be having long-term sales up to this particular zone here. But these buys here, I wouldn't really trade them on a personal basis because counter trends are kind of risky to trade, though you could enter and hold for some minutes, you could hold for some short time and exit, but I wouldn't really consider buys as per now. The only moment I would consider buys is when you're having a breakout from this order block, okay? This area, which is a key zone here. Once you have any candle closing above it, then that would mean that it could still buy, but still even when we have a breakout, it could form still a fake out as well. So you just need to be careful and be patient. At the end of the day, patience is the only thing that we really need. So I would be considering buys as per now on GBPJPY up to this particular zone right here. But it's better you take profits when you're like when it's halfway, you just take profits and wait for the sale to happen. So anything can happen. It could still buy up to even just half or even just right here and then head back down. Or it could still buy up right here, and that would be a really high probability setup, and then we should be looking at long-term sales at the end of the day. So considering that you are still having bulls in control in the monthly, you would say that you would buy for now, but remember you need to look at the lower time frames to find your entries, and that is why we are, much as we are having buys on the monthly, we are looking to buy, and then maybe later on if we see a setup for a sale, that is when we should consider sales, okay? But most likely this trade is going to be a long-term sale at the end of the day. So that is what I actually think on our GBPJPY. What I'm basing on, the confluences I'm basing on is the breakout from the trend line, and then the double bottom that has been formed. Yeah, basically that. Those are the two key areas I'm looking at. But before we go any further, you need to look at the news as well. I need you to look at the news. It's Friday though, and I don't really trade on Fridays. I just felt like I should look at this GBPJPY before the end of the week. But I'll be looking at. I'm sure by next week, around Tuesday or Wednesday, we should have a really clear setup for our sales. So right now, before you enter for anything, before placing any buy, you need to come to Forex Factory and look at the news, because anything can happen. You could enter for your buys as the market is saying right now, and then you are actually swept off. So the initial thing actually you should do before you even open the charts is go on your phone. Okay, I'm looking for the Google. You go on your phone and type in Forex Factory. You just go on any search what you use. So it's right here because I use it a lot. So we have Forex Factory right there, and then you just tap on it, and it will bring you a whole lot of news. It's sort of precise, that's why it's much better to use it. So this is Friday, January 3rd, and GBP, we are having some moderate impact news. As you can see, at around 12:30, that is in my country. At 12:30 p.m. we shall be having some slight news, and then at 6 we are having a high impact news and on UST pairs. So it's basically the news that are there, not really so threatening. Okay, yeah, so this is it. So it gives you all the news of that day, that particular day, as you can see. And I think it's okay to trade today, though it's Friday. And like I told you when I was making the video on sessions, the liquidity sort of like the markets don't really move on market opening on Monday and market closing, for instance, today Friday. So the market is sort of closing, and there are not really major moves that could happen on a Friday. So if our entry is stuck at this point, we'll just enter and just hold for some time and close. Once it reaches even halfway this, we'll just close and wait for a better day, which is next week, and we shall see what we could come out from this particular pair, GBPJPY. So that's what I actually think. Comment down below, what do you think about my analysis? What do you think about this particular pair? Do you think it's going to continue to buy, or it is now coming to drop down really down? And one thing I'm looking to sell is because remember I told you in the previous video, our pair had formed a bearish flag, and we said once it reaches this particular zone, we could look to sell. So this whole buy that happened previously, we're looking to target this zone, and our market was once it reached there, it really has respected it a lot. So it came, reached the zone, retraced a bit, came back, and still went back down. So that's why I am really bearish on GBPJPY. So it could still buy for now, but we are looking at long-term sales. So thank you so much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing, and let's connect guys, and let's make some money this new year. See you guys. Bye bye. Love you all.